Hey, Nathan here. Welcome back to another MonoGame Advanced video. This video we are going to discuss scaling objects. In the last video we discussed how to rotate objects. So we're going to do the same approach and just provide a single float value in the sprite_batch.draw call where we can provide a scale value. And then in the next few videos we'll talk about matrix transformations. Okay, so in the sprite.cs file, in the public sprite constructor, we need to add a way to provide the scale value of how we want the object to be scaled. So we have a list of arguments that we can pass into the constructor, and right before the rectangle bounds, let's add one more thing we want to provide, and that will be float scale, and we're going to default that to 1.0f. It's going to be 100% scaled. Then I'm just going to put the rectangle bounds on a separate line. In the private fields, we need to add a scale vector. So I'm going to add that below the rotation speed. So below rotation speed, add a private vector2 scale, _scale, or whatever naming convention you want to use. So the reason we're doing a vector2 is because we can control the width scale and the height scale. So if you want to control them separately, you may do so. And in the constructor, let's set _scale is equal to new vector2, and we're just going to set it to scale, scale. We're going to increase the width and the height by the same scale value. Alright, now let's scroll down here. And in the draw call, we need to provide the scale, and that's right before color. If we hover over our draw call, you see we have _angle. That is float rotation. Right after that is a vector2 scale. And then right after that is color. So we provided null for the scale. So let's provide _scale for that. Alright, Control S, and let's save that. And let's go to the debug sprite. And right before rectangle bounds in the debug sprites constructor, we need to do the same thing. Float scale is equal to 1.0f. So I'm just adding a float scale 1.0f in the debug sprites constructor, and I'll provide that when I call the bases constructor. Alright, so now that that is taken care of, now we need to go to game1.cs, and we need to add the actual scale amount to the actual call. So I'm going to bring this into separate lines here. Okay. So at the end we have _game dimension. So let's add a scale value here right before this call. So in the arrow 1 in the new debug sprite call, on the next line we have math helper.2 radians -5. Let's add comma. And let's set the arrow 1 to be 3.2f. It's going to be 3.2 times as big. And in the arrow 2, let's set that to be 0.25f. So that's going to be 25% the size of the standard image. Now let's press F5. And we'll see if everything's working. And it is. So our debug sprite is, as you can see, it controls what our object looked like before all the transforms. And if you remember in my last video, I said you would notice a bigger difference of why our collision detection is broken. You will notice a much better result on that. And you'll see the very small arrow is not even touching the very big arrow when everything goes red. And I can even make that smaller to 0.1F. And you'll see it's even worse. So keep that in mind when you do scaling and rotations. We need to have a way to manipulate the rectangle, the bounds. That way we can do rectangular collision detection, and then we also need to change the way we're doing per pixel collision detection. And we're going to do that based on transforming our bounds rectangle to our rotation and our scaling and our translation. So that will be in the next video. So this was a very quick video. We did all the groundwork in the last video, which was to get the rotation going and to get that new sprite batch.draw call. So this was a very simple video. So next few videos will be the matrix transformation series, and hopefully they will be released on the weekend of Thanksgiving. I'm just going to record them ahead of time and just release them on that Sunday. We're going to have a lot of people here, so hopefully I'll get some time to go to my computer and just upload. So it might not be Sunday. Anytime I get the chance next week to upload at least one video one day, another video the next day, that I'll do that. So keep an eye out. I'll see you next time.